This is the 8th video in a series of 11 where I'm talking about food addiction, binge eating, and emotional eating, and I'm starting the 8th video right now. My name is Gregory Groves, and if this is your first time visiting my channel and you would like to learn more on how to deal with the emotional issues associated with weight loss, food addiction, binge eating, emotional eating, stress eating, subscribe now and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a thing. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I'll be sharing the 8th video in this series, which is the difference between binge eating and compulsive overeating. Both are very similar, and there is still some debate on if they are in fact different or the same. So in this week's video, I'll share my take on this subject. First, let's talk about binge eating. Binge eating or binge eating disorder is a disorder where you frequently eat very large amounts of food while feeling a sense of powerlessness to stop it. Excuse me. You also have a strong feeling of distress after the bouts of overeating. You have no control at the time. After comes the feelings of discomfort from eating so much. Then you start with the feelings of shame, guilt, regret, and in even some cases, depression. Binge eating was and still is something I have dealt with in my own battles in my life. So I am also very passionate about this. People tend to binge because it's comforting, but that comforting feeling is very brief. Some people turn to binge eating to help deal with stress in their lives as well as being in a depressed state. Then the vicious cycle of unpleasant emotions occur. So you start with the stress, anxiety, more depression, regret, self-loathing. Binge eating usually leads to weight gain and obesity, which in turn brings on more bouts of binge eating. Again, that very vicious cycle. I just want to be clear here before I move forward. I've said this in past videos, but I want to be clear. I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or therapist, and I am not pretending or claiming to be. I am an expert in the field of binge eating and food addiction, the emotional issues associated with weight loss, yes, but I am not a therapist of any kind. Okay, with that covered, here are some signs and symptoms to help you gauge if binge eating is an issue in your life. Take note, because if 3 or more of these apply to you, you probably suffer from some form of binge eating or binge eating disorder, BED for short. So here they are. Rapidly eating large amounts of food, often and usually in very short periods of time. Inability to stop eating or control what you're eating. Depression to control weight and eating habits. Eating continuously throughout the day with no planned meal times. Eating even when you're full and continue to eat after you're full. Hiding or stockpiling food to eat later in secret. Feeling guilty, disgusted, or depressed after bouts of overeating. Eating normally around others, but gorging when you're alone. A lot of that does come back to shame. Feeling stress or tension that is relieved by eating. Embarrassment over how much you're eating, and again, hiding it or stockpiling it, hiding your foods from others. Feeling numb while binging, like you're not really there or you're on autopilot. Never feeling satisfied, no matter how much you eat. Now, let's talk about compulsive overeating. So compulsive overeating is generally a term used to describe food addiction. Compulsive overeaters do tend to give into binges as those who suffer from binge eating disorders do. So some of the most common signs and symptoms of compulsive overeating are eating faster than you usually would, continuing to eat past the point of fullness, eating when you're not physically hungry, eating in secret or when you are alone, feeling guilty, angry, or upset after bouts of overeating, feeling that you are abnormal, feeling like you're being taken over or driven as if by an outside presence or force in respect to eating. So as you can see, a lot of the signs and symptoms are incredibly similar. So are they actually different? Well, the debate if they are actually the same is still being debated, and will probably remain debated for a very long time. I know this is probably not the actual answer that you were hoping to get. I know this doesn't actually answer the question if they are different, but in my opinion, a lot more research does need to be done on this subject. When I help people in my coaching with either issue, my program does not change that much, if any, between the two. I do hope this video helps at least a little bit, although I probably didn't give you the answer you were hoping for. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. At least you can take the signs and symptoms I mentioned here today and use them to take the right step forward towards your recovery. To learn more about how to deal with the emotional issues associated with weight loss, food addiction, binge eating, emotional eating, stress eating, remember to subscribe now and hit that bell notification so you never miss a future video. Also, look for the next part of this series next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have any questions you would like for me to answer, as I always say, feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and I will do my best to answer them all. Also, feel free to share this video with anyone you know could benefit from it. This helps me reach more people, and the more people I reach, the more people I can help, which of course is my goal. Also, make sure to check out the videos that will be popping up on the cards on the screen soon. They will help you further in your journey. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I will see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Have an awesome week, and please stay safe.